Hello, James here from Awaken Therapy. Hope you're well. I'm here to continue our series of videos on activation and what to do when we're activated, what to do when we're triggered. And we've talked about what triggering is. I've got that triggering toolkit on the website if you want to dive into some more deep information about this. But today I wanted to share with you another hack, another tool, another essential aspect of managing our energies when we're activated, because in the short term, not only is it very unpleasant when these old emotions come up for healing, it's also kind of risky. We can go into pretty destructive behaviours. I think a lot of the violence and destructive things that happen in the world when people are triggered, it's not just about the situation, it's old stuff that overloads, that people acted out, certainly destructive acts towards ourselves, it can be driven by that, and certainly just things like our conflict in relationships and where we get stuck, or maybe we freeze and shut down, just, you get into that kind of cold stonewall situation, or we just sort of see black, or we see red, or we just want to leave, or I think a lot of destructive things happen from displaced or projected activation material. So it's very important that we learn how to manage our energies when we are in that state. And as you know, if you follow my stuff, my understanding of it is that the world's going through very significant transitional shifts at the moment. It's not business as usual, everything is dialed up, everything's more amplified. And so I notice personally and professionally, because I work with a lot of people who tell me about this, that we're basically all getting triggered a lot at the moment. Old stuff is being exposed more strongly than ever, so we need to be on top of our healing work more than ever to keep up with this energetic shift, this timeline split we're going through. So today I wanted to talk about movement as a way of helping to shift these energies out of the body. Now, of course, movement can look like anything from going for a walk, or a jog, or a run, if you're fit enough to do that sort of thing. It might be, going to the gym, or going to the pool, or walking on the beach, or whatever form. In the more immediate, it might be that we just get up and we just shake it out for a bit. Or one thing I like to do is this sort of movement, or any sort of natural stretching or opening up, just to help clear the chemistry that we're holding in the body that's being released, because that's what's happening when we trigger. It's not just a thought or a feeling. There's a physical component to it. So any movement that you enjoy, some people like to shake. Shaking can be quite effective for moving the energy. It might be just gentle stretching. It might be we go to our yoga or something like that. What I wanted to show you today was a simple Qigong technique that I use every morning after I do a bit of breath work. I like to do a few stretches, and then I just do a few rounds of this Qigong technique. And if you Google it, it's taught in a number of different ways. But essentially what it's doing is using contact. You can use the open palm, or I tend to use this if my wife's still in bed so I don't wake her up. It's a bit quieter. Basically, we're tapping on the meridians. We're tapping gently or firmly, however firm you feel, to activate the energy centers, the energy meridians where the energy flows, or the prana flows. It's helping to clear that energy. And I like to delay or spend a bit of extra time in a few strategic spots where there's a lot of lymph nodes, where it's more of a cluster of energy center there, and those spots are under the arm, behind the knees, around the groin, and on the kidneys there. So I'm going to show you the cycle of this. You won't be able to see me going right down to my feet, but you'll know what I'm doing. So what I do, I just start here. It's really tapping, then down the arm, we're making rough contact with these meridians or these energy channels, and coming back up the arm, and then lingering a bit in the armpit where there's a lot of energy connections there, across the chest and down, go down the inside. I'm thinking about it, such that I do it automatically these days. And then under the arm, then back and down the sides of the body, sides of the legs. I'm dropping right down the sides of the legs, and then when you get to the knees, tapping behind the knees. So you're tapping in there behind the knees for a bit longer before you go down to your feet, and coming up the inside of the legs. And then when you get to the groin, just tapping there. I like to use the edges of my hands, just tapping in the crease there at the top of the legs, and going around to the kidneys, tapping on the kidneys. I like to just, go around in gentle circles, not too firm there, but you're activating around the kidneys. Then up the back of the neck, over the head, no hair, so you can hear the pitter-patter of the rain on my skull. There's just fingertips around there. Then I like to do a bit of reflexology on the ears, just stimulating around the ears. And if I don't have my glasses on, then I just rub over my face. And that's around. And so, 1, 2, 3 of those rounds. But what that's doing is just really stimulating the energy centers, helping to move the energy, helping to shift things, particularly when we're in an activated state. And just, if you haven't seen it already, I've got that new free resource called The Soul Warrior's Journey, which is available through the website. Just have a look, click on the link below, that will take you there. Contains a written set of roadmaps explaining the Soul Warrior Journey, and quite a long guided hypnotherapy process where you get to meet your soul warrior. And that's available to you free of charge. I hope it really helps you on your journey. Absolutely here for you. Hope you found today's video useful.